Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News afternoon report for Friday, the 10th of November 2023. I'm Adam Lang. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 business stories that happened today that you need to know about, so here we go. Story number 1. The S&P ASX 200 closed down 0.5% to 6,977 points. It was a pretty ugly day all around. The utilities, energy and financial sub-indices all dropped a fair bit, but pretty much all sectors ended the day lower. Some of the more defensive stocks, healthcare, technology and consumer staples did best. The banks also fell sharply, led by National Australia Bank. The energy giants Woodside and Santos also dropped, as did James Hardie, Origin Energy and Suncorp. The reason USA Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell spoke overnight and made it clear that if the world's most important central bank thought there was a need to lift interest rates, it would. Over the past week or so, there's been growing confidence that the Fed wouldn't lift rates again. That's pushed bond yields lower and share markets higher, but a few well-chosen words undid much of the hard work done this week. Some of the popular gold and lithium miners, among others, fell sharply. Siona Mining, Core Lithium, Chalice Mining and Pilbara Minerals were all down sharply. Among the best performers were Neuron Pharmaceuticals and Breville. Story number 2. The Reserve Bank released its full gambit of economic forecasts today and upped its inflation forecast and definitely left the door open for more rate rises. The central bank's quarterly statement on monetary policy said there was likely to be less progress in bringing down inflation in the quarters ahead, hence this week's 25 basis point rise in the official cash rate. The good news is that inflation expectations remain in line with the inflation target. The bank says another rate rise will depend on economic data. The bank also says as pandemic disruptions fade, productivity growth may pick up, reducing the growth of unit labour costs and further easing inflationary pressures. The bottom line is inflation is staying stubbornly high. Story number 3. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has spoken to the President of the Palestinian Authority, Mahmoud Abbas, condemning Hamas's attack on Israel and reiterating his support for a two-state solution. In a call to the Palestinian leader, Mr Albanese also expressed his concern for all civilian casualties in Israel and Gaza and the need for international law to be observed. The talks followed conversations between Mr Albanese and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu last week. Meanwhile, Mr Benjamin Netanyahu has reiterated that he has no plans to govern or occupy Gaza, but predicts the ultimate destruction of Hamas without saying when that would be accomplished. Story number 4. There was a bunch of corporate news out today. News Corp recorded declining net income in the September quarter and earnings per share were lower. The media giant said 3 years of strong earnings and profits weren't reflected in the share price. News's share price is up nearly 30% this year. REA Group's share price fell, notwithstanding a jump in revenue during the September quarter. Listings revenue was up 12% and earnings were 13% higher. Investors were concerned by comments from REA that any further rate rises could have a negative impact on sentiment. Southern Cross Media has confirmed that Anthony Catalano's Australian Community Media has made an approach to merge the companies. The move comes as Southern Cross executives have been trying to drum up wider interest in the business to counter an offer from ARN Media. And cancer drug tech developer Immugene's share price surged following the start of a much-anticipated drug trial. Story number 5, Optus has begun emailing customers offering apologies and an offer of free data to cover for the massive outage on Wednesday. Optus's offer of 200 gigabytes of extra data at normal speeds over one billing cycle is estimated to be worth between nothing and $70, depending on uptake and usage. However, expectations are rising that the company could be hit by costly compensation claims, particularly from its business customers. Meanwhile, online product comparison website Finder said it experienced a 200% spike in traffic on Wednesday, with customers looking for different mobile plans. That's it for the afternoon report for Friday, the 10th of November 2023. Sean Aylmer, guest judge Sherelle Murphy and I will be back tomorrow morning with the weekend edition of Fear and Greed Business News. I'm Adam Lang. I hope you enjoy your evening.